Hello, everyone. It is Ken here. It's Basketball Rewind. We are joined by a special guest today, James Barlowe, of course. It is Basketball Rewind. It is draft talk season. Beyond the Locker Room is back. Coach Roach back again. Undisclosed location, of course. Probably not the Golden State or Golden Gate Bridge. But hey, folks, I know I've been pumping this content out. I just put a Dailyn Swain video out. We've covered so many, whether it be Senak, Christian Anderson, Stirtz, many more that I'm starting to forget about. And of course, we haven't even seen the Raptors play in a while, but we are seeing, that fun time. It's that workout, period of the time. We're going to be talking about draft talk, though. James, how are you? How's it going? How have you been?
I'm good. I can't complain. I'm ready for the 23rd so we can figure out where this is all going to go because I've been covering these guys. It is every year, but it feels like forever. And it's that point where, it's workout time. I'm ready to get the ball rolling because once guys are drafted, it feels like it's free agency, like the next day, and then summer league, and we're all back ready for the season start. So I'm excited.
I mean, I have a couple questions for you just to start off. I've been watching some of your stuff recently, as I always do in general, but uh, I have to start off with this because of the game I should say the games that we have been watching. And of course, I'm gonna phrase it like this. You have Becky versus Brunson, right? So, so of course, there was a little bit of an overall trend against small guards year over year over year. I will admit that outside of my man Scoot, who I still believe in, I have been moved into that trend. However, can we say that if the Knicks win, is that trend going to buck? Especially with this year's draft, there's a lot of smaller guards. I know your favorite guard is not a small guard, or one of your favorite guards outside of Peterson, which is Mikal Brown Jr., if I'm not mistaken. Um, but yeah, do you think outside of him, can is there going to be a bucking of the trend?
I think that trends in the NBA are tricky. You're trying to duplicate somebody else's success. You can't run somebody else's race, right? So you saw last year that the Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't know what trend they were trying to start, but let's say it was double big, right? Chet at the four, Hartenstein at the five. Well, that doesn't work against the Spurs because they can put a guard on Chet and erase them. And then you say, okay, it looks like while we talk, before we start recording, I think the Spurs are a better team that is not winning. That looks like to me, they have six guys who can guard multiple positions, dribble, pass, shoot. That looks like a trend that's going to be copied, but at the same time, think about what you wanted with De'Aaron Fox. But if he were to come out in the 2026 draft, he'd be a small guard, right? So the and then the obviously the Knicks' best player shouldn't probably win Finals MVP, but Jalen Brunson is a small guard. So it's like, what trend are we chasing? The point of that I'm trying to make is teams should you got to build what's going to you can't do an old style, but at the same time I think there's always going to be value in point guards and just ball handlers in general, right? We saw when Fox was out, Castle was turning the ball over like crazy. I'm a big Stephon Castle fan, but he's a co-star, co-ball handler. As much as we like Dylan Harper, he's not really passing the ball because he feels like nobody can guard him. So what does that look like when Fox isn't, malfunctioning? We don't know. So I'm not anti small guard. And the league is switchable and this, that, and the other, but the Rockets didn't play a point guard. Look where they got them. Right? The Timberwolves struggled with point guard play, and come to find out they still need Mike Conley because they turn the ball over like crazy. I'm just not the person that's gonna write off quote unquote small point guards because you need those decision makers still.
Well, I mean, before anyone else goes, I'll just say this. I know that people of the Raptors ilk want a full time Scotty Barnes experience. And to me, I look at the playoffs and I'm like, anytime that they actually guarded him coming up the floor, I would suggest that I too would like some of the guards from this draft, and we will definitely get into that shortly. But yeah, Coach, beyond your guys' thoughts on what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think if you're a small guard, you got to have an elite skill set. So Fox, for example, super speed, elite speed. Brunson, elite scoring ability. He's able to bump guys because of his size, use angles, good shot form. That's his thing. It's not going to be defense, and he's a pretty good speed for a guard as well. But I just think if you're a small guard, what's your elite skill? Chris Paul, it was just seeing the floor, operating in pick and roll, and those elbow jump shots, which he made a living off of. So I just think if you get an elite skill set or you're a crazy athlete, I think that really helps too.
Hey man, I'm with Becky. Okay, I believe in this philosophy. I say so ironically as an Isaiah Thomas fan. So I say so ironically that I'm not a big fan of small guards. I don't like them to be building around them as the centerpiece. Can they be effective being on the court as like a secondary or tertiary guy? Sure, but to have them as the focal point, where you're having someone that's under 6'3" as the focal point, that concerns me a lot. And the irony is that even Brunson, as well as he is, and how great as he may be, we were talking about this prior to talking to James. The turn right now, OG's probably right now going to be your MVP at the moment, in my mind, based on his stats and everything else, and the signature play of this series. Actually, you consider the block on Fox. He had a whole tapestry in that last minute. So, just shaking his head. It's
Still
like,
mad about that,
like
man.
PTSD right
We
there.
are too. We are, some of us are too. Yeah.
So I think that in my mind I'm fine with it if you have the right roster to support the small guard, but it's like I am concerned about when you try to build around them as the focal point, and that's where I guess where I'm more like Becky on that front, where it's like they have a role, but don't make them the centerpiece. That's my thing. So
Yeah, I definitely get that logic. Now I mean, the WNBA you have to play through a big just because it's a below the rim game.
mhm.
But if I'm taking any of these smaller guards, I don't in this particular draft, I'm not necessarily building around them. So like let's just say for example, if the Brooklyn Nets select Darius Acuff at 6, would he be their best player? Could he be their best player next year? Next to second best player next to Michael Porter Jr. Sure, and you build around him until you find a better player. That's my thinking. I'm not building him a statue because we selected him 6. I'm saying, okay, this is the best player available in this particular draft, and let's see how it goes. I'm still under the belief that you got to be a good regular season team before you can be a decent playoff team, before you can even talk about being a championship team. So if the Knicks would have, after they got beat by the bigger Pacers team last year, moved on, they weren't going to move on from Brunson, but if they were to change their philosophy, then they wouldn't be where they are today. So I think every team situation is different. Again, with the whole point guard situation, another one, the team Boston does not have a point guard to me right now. They tried Derek White, and he can't balance decision making, scoring, and trying to defend at a high level. So it's like you got to have a balance of, you know, the smaller guard has to be tough and defend for it to even work. Because if he's going to be picked on, then it's just not going to work at all. But team building is, I think, is unique to each organization.
Yeah, my only caveat to your point is that with the point guard being in that position, when they think they actually are the best player or it should be centered around them, they have the ball. So therefore, they're a
That's
harder
true.
guy. They're a harder guy to kind of wean off of that when the time comes. It's like, okay, it's been nice. Only thing in my head in this case here is Steve Francis, right? That's what
Yeah,
I had in
yeah.
my head.
I mean, the argument with those guys are they're just they're point guard by size, not by game.
Game, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't want to give it up in this case here. It's like maybe you might want to kind of fall back a little bit. He
Yeah,
wasn't going to fall back.
Yeah, totally agree. I think, we'll go in a different direction than I was originally intending. We'll just jump into the guard talk. Um, I'll focus obviously on the 15 to say 20 range because that's just the
hmm
range that the Raptors are in, of course. So I'm just gonna assume that say a guy like Acuff Jr. is probably not going to be on the board. So That's my man, by the way. So in the Raptors range, I know there's more guys like LeBaron Phylon, there's Christian Anderson, Stirtz, Ebuka Okorie. The way that I see it, balancing all of the things that you guys have said, Ebuka Okorie, he has the skill, the athleticism, but sometimes he could be a little bit tunnel vision to me. And then you also, James, I think you've talked about this in your own kind of observations where, for him to be better in terms of his court vision, aside from just giving up the ball, is something that's needed. Aside from the fact that yes, he does get to the rim, but what does he do at the rim at that level versus what will he do at the NBA level? Now, some people think that because the extra spacing that's available on an NBA court, he's automatically going to be, great at the rim, and I would say that that ain't how it work. Yeah. But because you still got to deal with it, someone rotating over. But yeah, your thoughts just in general. We could start with Ebuka Okorie. I don't, what? I actually don't know who everyone's favorite guard is so far. I know your favorite guard, of course, but I don't know who coach and beyond, even though we've discussed these guys. So yeah.
As far as Ebuka Okorie, so I did a video probably all my days run together, man. Probably a week ago, maybe last week, but you can't stop him from getting to the basket. His handle is so tight, and there's a lot of, I think, Kyrie Irving qualities in his game. Now again, Kyrie Irving is a mutant in his own right, but you can tell that like Okorie grew up watching Kyrie Irving. And while spacing will help him, you still have to make the read. Like just because there's more space doesn't mean that you're going to automatically improve as a finisher. He can shoot floaters. But I just think that Stanford situation was so good and bad for him. Good because obviously he's in the situation where, I think he should be a top 20 pick. And they gave him the ball. He's the best player on the team. He had total freedom, total reign over the offense. But at the same time, you can develop bad habits when you're playing with lesser players. You're thinking, you know what, me taking this shot is better than this guy taking an open shot. And there's a couple times where there's two low men on the floor and he's still driving into the paint. I do think he would be a better finisher in the NBA, but will it be tremendous, a huge gap just because there's more space? No, part of being a better finisher is knowing where the help is and when to drive and, just things like that he needs to improve on. But him being a guy who is going to get to the rim, especially with NBA space, the speed of the game, I think he's going to be fine. How it works in Toronto is a little different because he's going to be somebody who needs the ball in his hands. And I don't know if that's necessarily the best situation for him because it's the Scotty Barnes show. And I think he's going to be a good shooter, but he might be a rhythm guy. Like, I have the ball in my hands. Of course, I'm going to be an efficient guy because I'm going to have unlimited bullets to, get these shots off. I don't think he's going to have that unless you just tell him to go anchor your second unit. Now, how does he work on the floor when you have, Brandon Ingram's not really trying to take a bunch of threes. That's what you guys do with RJ Barrett. He's not really trying to take a bunch of threes. Scotty, Toronto is almost like the luxury version of the Orlando Magic, where your best ball handler is your four, and you're trying to put the pieces around those guys, but at the same time, like there's still some intersection between your three and your four. But I really like Okorie. I just don't know if I like him for Toronto.
Just one thing, it's funny. On the paper, you're absolutely right. There's one element that I guess maybe because we're close to the situation, that we are aware of this maybe is that the head coach has a very big fondness of having point guards having control of the situation. Not necessarily in your standard pick and roll situation, but a lot of DHOs where it's a lot of 1-5 DHOs going on in this case here. For some reason, I don't know. He thinks we have Jokic on the team. I don't know why, but I'm like, but that's what we be running half the time. I'm like sitting there and scratching my head some nights. But he does have he has a lot of confidence, and he relies heavily on the point guard being out there. So quickly we'll have opportunity after opportunity. Doesn't matter what the situation is. We saw Shed in this case have a tons of opportunities to get shots off, especially in the playoffs. So I think from that perspective, if he's more willing to, I guess come off the ball a little bit, he will get plenty of opportunities because point guards get a lot of shots in this offense. Strangely enough, to your point, on paper, it doesn't seem like that's the case. But when you watch them play and how Darko runs offense, you'd be amazed how many times the opportunities come for point guards in this offense. I don't know what the guys think about that, but that's, so to your point, you're right. He's not going to be able to do like flatten it out one, I'm just going to do my thing. That's not going to happen. Yeah. But he'll get opportunities to get shots up.
Yeah. You made the comparison to a little bit of Kyrie Irving's handle. I had a comparison of that of him too when I watch him. I call him like a poor man's Kyrie. I don't mean that it's a negative. I mean that like if you're a poor man's Kyrie, you're gonna have a pretty damn good career. Basically. Yes. Right. So I want to ask you, because you mentioned about your thoughts about Okorie for the Raptors, might not be the best fit. Of the guards around that range, so Okorie, Anderson, Stirtz, I'll add Phylon. I don't think he's going to be there, but I know he's Kenyon's guy, so I'll put him in there. Who do you think is the best one to be the best one next to Scotty and CMB? I'm just assuming we all know they're building around Scotty. CMB is going to be part of that core. What's just the guards going to be best work with them?
I think Bennet Stirtz might be the best fit because I personally don't see him as being a point guard in the NBA. Not in the sense that he is a lead guard like how he was at Iowa. I'm going to like bash him, but not bash him. So like he can't get to the paint without zoom action to me. It's all pitch and go for him to get downhill. He shot the ball extremely well, but a lot of that was he's a great shooter, but he just can't get by anybody. Now, in that situation in Toronto, I think it absolutely works because, again, you're talking about a bottom 5 team and attempts and makes, and he can flat out shoot the basketball. And he's not going to be somebody who takes the ball out of your star's hands. Does he bring the ball up occasionally? Sure. And then, but like you said, if it's some dribble handoff action, that's basically his whole game. So he doesn't look like a lot of the other point guards in the draft to me. I think he's a combo. If it's not Toronto, I think he'd be great in Detroit, just somewhere where there's already an established ball handler because I just don't see him, especially like you guys are a playoff team. In a playoff setting, they're going to guard him full court, right? They're going to turn him, and I just don't think that's what you want him to do if he's your primary ball handler. I think he's the secondary ball handler, aka a combo guard in the NBA. But if you're talking about we need shooting, still need some playmaking, and we're still trying to make sure that this is the Scotty Barnes show, I think he's the best fit for all those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump in here and just say, while I'm trying to find a diplomatic way of putting this, Stirtz, I can understand, and I agree with everything that you said, but I also agree with all the, we'll say, the challenges that he presents, right? My whole thing is when I first watched him and throughout, I get he understands how to control the pace. He can, he's not someone that you're worried about in terms of making bad plays and getting sped up from the processing side of the game. But, and I promise, it's not just how he, it's... He lacks athleticism, okay?
Oh, yeah, his feet touch the ground.
I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, his feet are like scraping the ground. He's a 2-level scorer in the NBA to me. Threes and mid-range. Anything at the rim is going to be like super uncontested because he can't jump over a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Well, in the combine, he tested well, which was shocked me. I think it was like a 37-inch vertical.
But my thing about the combine athlete, basketball athlete.
Reed Shepard here, James.
Well, I think Reed uses his athleticism. If Reed gets downhill, he can get that. Reed needs more. He needs more pizzazz in his handle. It's just a lot of basic stuff. But he makes. I mean, Reed. I think Reed is a really good athlete, and he plays and he uses his athleticism. if Bennet Stirtz jumped 48 inches at the combine, I still wouldn't care because you're never going to see it. That's
Yeah.
my thing with him. It's almost like last year Trey Johnson had a higher vertical than Dylan Harper, higher vertical than Cooper Flagg. He probably had a third of the dunks that they had.
Yeah.
But he just can't go by anybody on his own. He's very screen reliant. But at the same
Yes.
time, he's a very good shooter. I just think it's going to be a lot of pitch action to get him going downhill. He's going to make that pocket pass, and then he's probably going to have to relocate and stretch the floor.
And the problem with the Raptors offense right now is that we do run DHOs, but in terms of more traditional pick and roll that he would rely on a lot and relies on a lot, we're probably the last place team in the league, I think, from
We're in the
statistics.
bottom third for sure. We're
Yeah.
definitely the low. Yeah.
And so there's two guys really that I've kind of narrowed in on because they kind of balance a little bit of, being able to, put the ball in the hoop and do things with the ball and on their own and create advantages. And yet they still kind of shift more towards a point guard. Because as much as I know Shed has a lot of fans in Toronto, I think long term, sometimes less is more from a Shed standpoint. So I'm looking at Anderson and LeBaron.
I think LeBaron won't be there. I think Anderson
Yeah, I know.
probably
I'm
will
so
be
sad
there.
about it.
Yeah, LeBaron's special. I do like Christian Anderson because he can really shoot. And again, we're talking about size. He's underweight, and he only measured out at 6 feet, but he can really shoot. I think he's a really good decision maker.
Yes.
And pick and roll, like just traditional pick and roll, he's gonna find guys. And what I do like about him, while he's not like a great athlete, he's really selective about his layups, almost to the point where those short 8 foot jump shots that Chris Paul's famous for on the baseline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially as he got older, when he really couldn't turn, he never shot layups. Once he left the Clippers, they were only like short jumpers. Christian Anderson shoots those, and to me, that's a high IQ play because it's understanding who I am, especially when you're a really good shooter like Christian Anderson. I do like him at 20.
Yeah, it's funny when I watch him play. I saw elements of Chris Paul and mentioned that like he'll see that play ahead of time, which is
Yes.
rare to see in college. Where it's like, oh, it's like he can see where that guy's gonna be cutting, and it's like for a team like the Raptors that want to be based on movement, I can see how he could work out really well with a team like that. I wanted to ask you one more thing about him because he's been kind of all over the map when it comes to like where he's gonna fit, like or where he's gonna be selected. I've seen some
Yeah.
mocks have him in 20s. I've seen some mocks have him up in like, maybe up to 14, 13, somewhere around there. I've seen some mocks have him around our area and, 18, 19. Like it seems like no one's got a good gauge of where he's fitting in. I wanted to get your thoughts. Like, is he like a guaranteed top 20 pick or is like, could he fall further back? Like, I mean, I don't know if the measurement scared people and it freaked everyone out, but like, I thought he was a guaranteed top 20 and it seems like that's not quite the case.
I just think that this draft is so deep.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I think Okorie, I think his rise, what you're reading online, I think that's legit.
Mhm.
Speed, like I think NBA really likes him.
Mhm.
So I think that plays into part. Maybe somebody saying, okay, this guy may be a little bit more dynamic, or he may do something that we want more than what Christian Anderson does. But I think his range is probably 15 to 25.
Mhm.
It just kind of
Right.
depends on what the Raptors do, what does Detroit do. I have to look and see where Minnesota is. I think they're a little further back, but
Yeah.
yeah, there are teams with need for point guard. It's just kind of like what kind of point guard do I want, So, and like I said, if we were to say in December, we probably all thought Christian Anderson was going to come out. We did, a lot of us didn't think that Ebuka Okorie was going to come out, and then like I said, he measured extremely well. And then it's that time of the year when you're like really digging in deep, and you're like, oh wow, this dude is really hard to guard, and he had no help. Oh man, what does it look like when we can teach him how to hit that guy in the corner because that corner that strong side defender has to make a choice. So
Right. Right. I mean, to your point, there are guys that are rising up. Obviously, Ebuka Okorie is one of them, and you're hearing his name more and more. It Stirtz a little bit as well. I think I will. We will not talk about LeBaron because I agree with you. I don't. He's more of like, please.
Join me. Join
You
me
never
now,
know.
Kenyon, man. That's how I was. That's how I felt with Carr. So join me now, man, because Carr is my guy. I thought, ooh, just keep quiet and maybe you'll just stay around there. But that dream's dead now. Carr is not going to be around.
Yeah, so I think to me, LeBaron, I really liked it, just the way that he has bounce, the way that he just attacks, and to be honest, his I think it's understated. I think he gets flack for not being as good of a defender as he was the previous year. But when you couple the fact that he was still a positive defender, all while improving so much offensively and taking on a bigger role too, and going from 32% as a shooter to like 40%, it's like, my goodness, like it's and he has an edge to his game that's just it really is special. One quick thing though before I go away from Anderson is just some people worry about him being compared and they compare him to IQ, and my only thing is IQ panics when he goes and gets into paint touch territory. I don't think Anderson panics at all. It could be from the international play or something, but yeah. Your thoughts on what I just said, James?
Man, it feels like I haven't seen man quickly playing so long, man. He was hurt.
It feels like that every year.
Man, unfortunately. It'd be interesting. I mean, you're paying him starter money.
Yes, we are.
Remind us, please.
Expansion is coming soon.
Is that what y'all waiting on?
Hey man, let me tell you something, James. I can't tell these guys. I said the word I keep waiting to hear is from Adam Silver. The word expansion. I just can't wait for it. That's our only hope.
Yeah, y'all
Seattle Supersonics, come on down.
I think IQ is on a really good team, on the playoff team. I think he's a 6th man. Fortunately, fortunately for him, that's my goal in life, to be overpaid. But
no doubt,
he's starting, and it was almost like I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do with IQ. But I think there are some similarities to Christian Anderson. But we'll see how that goes, man. God bless you guys, and maybe quickly his contract.
That's the southern him coming out right there. We know what that means in this case. The long road, in other words.
Yes. But yeah, do you feel like while there might be some similarities, do you think that the pacing is a little bit better from a Christian Anderson standpoint? Can he overcome the decision-making standpoint that IQ sometimes struggles with?
Yeah, I think Christian Anderson is a kid that knows exactly who he is, and it comes to, like I said, he's selective with his drives, understanding that me shooting. It's almost like when you watch these games and they have that, I don't know what it is, Amazon, whatever, the advanced numbers that say, this person shoots here and it's like moving with him. It's almost like he has that built in, and he understands that me shooting a contested layup is not a good shot. He'll dribble around the baseline on like Chris Paul, keep his dribble. I think he's going to be really good. The only thing that he's going to get that small guard tag, and he's really going to get it because he's not a really good athlete, but I do think he'll be somebody who's a better decision maker. I think Quickly's just wired to score, and that's just kind of who he is.
Yeah.
Yep. He reminds me a little bit of Garland. Anderson does, that is. Just shades of that. I do think that Garland's a lot more dynamic, of course, with his handle and stuff. But another guy that it's like, oh man, Raptors should have helped.
Well, here's the thing. I think does Brandon Ingram have a toe injury as well?
No, he doesn't. He just won. Well, no, you're right.
You don't want 2 guys with bad toes.
He
did have turf toe.
No, that's a good point. Well, also, like, Garland has weird things where it's like eye pokes and like
have a black eye, turf toe. It's just Yeah, those guys, man, I don't get it. It's almost like you rather have a nagging injury because you can like manage it, but when it's something like Anthony Davis broke his hand reaching in to steal, and I'm like, that dude has the worst luck ever.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Well, we almost. Anyways, that's. We almost had AD here, so you never know. This would have been interesting. T-Mobile Hospital. Shout out to AD though. My goodness, talented as anything. But yeah. Yes. All right. So to move away from the guards, unless you guys want to stay stuck on the guards.
No. I'm curious.
You're like I'm done.
I'm curious about the bigs.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's kind of who I was kind of going to shift towards. Is there's a set of bigs that we've also kind of figured out will either be in range or that we're interested in. Obviously, some guys like Mara not going to be available. Yaxel may be slipping. I don't see him being available. I say the Michigan trio. I just don't see it. But at the same time, there are guys like Hannes, slipping my mind, Jaden Quaintance, I really like a lot. Yeah.
I don't think
This should be fun. Oh boy, I can't wait for
I
this.
really like Jaden Quaintance.
Good. You came to the right place.
He's the best defender in this
Yes.
draft.
Yeah.
I don't think it's particularly close, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now, I get the knee injury, but at 17 years old, he was an amazing defender. And, they let him do whatever he wanted at Arizona State. If I were in charge, like of Oklahoma City, like I'm drafting him and saying, hey, take as much time as you need. We don't need you right away. If we need to redshirt you for half the season because you don't feel comfortable, like it's whatever. Even if I honestly think his floor is like Robert Williams. Robert Williams can only play like 24 minutes a game, but like in those 24 minutes, he's like one of the best defensive bigs in the NBA. And I just think Quaintance, if he's healthy, he can switch 1 through 5.
Yeah.
And he's a great shot blocker, and he's a great rebounder, and he's a great athlete. I'm like, I see people mocking him in the 20s, and I'm like,
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, James. Is he got the biggest swing of anyone in the draft? Like, if you get a draft night and you got picked the same ninth, I'll just use that as a number.
I wouldn't surprise me.
I think all of us wouldn't be surprised. And yet, if you got picked 22nd, I don't think any of us would be surprised. Like, I don't know.
I can see that, but like, the chatter is, and I think they're going to take a guard, but the chatter is the Hawks want a big, right? Now, again, their trajectory, maybe they don't have the time, the patience, whatever, for the knee injury. But he's the best defensive big in this draft. And, like, he's 18. And everything that I hear about him is that he's a great kid. All he wants to do is, like, watch anime.
Yeah, I was going to say he does like anime, actually.
He just wants to play basketball and watch anime. So it's like the knee, I get it, but, like, this isn't the ACL injury that took out like Chris Webber and those guys 25, 30 years ago. So I think the technology is a lot better. I just, me personally, I would draft him like extremely high because I think he's that good.
You know what my biggest fear is, and I tell these guys all the time?
Yes.
That pick 20 with the Spurs, they're going to find him. If the medicals are not great, and then no one will score for the next 10 years with him.
Exactly, and that's Spurs. You don't want him to fall to 20. and here's the thing: if Oklahoma City likes him, then there's nothing wrong with him, right? Because they don't really make mistakes. Yep. And it's like you're never going to score. You're never going to score on the Spurs if they take him.
Mm-hmm. I think
they got guys guarding full court, and then you got to try to score on these two aliens that they have that are built totally different. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit janky initially from an offensive standpoint, but him, Scotty, CMB, that's
good luck.
That's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough to score on. And then now you're talking about a top 2 defense in the NBA for the foreseeable future. And you figure it out from there.
I was going to say, offensively, it's going to be rough with those three.
Yes.
From the perimeter, it's going to be tough. But defensively,
first team 75.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be a time machine. We'd be going back to 1993, man.
Hey, man. Talk about bucking the trend.
We scored 85 a
I'm
night.
telling you, man, you gotta buck these trends because, like, you have to figure out how to if I feel like the physicality in the playoffs is like ramped up so
We
much.
were just talking about that.
If
Funny
you
enough,
can
Yeah.
yeah.
just beat a team up, you got a chance.
Yeah, we were
Yes.
just talking about that before we came on the call with you, where it's like a different sport now we're watching. Like,
And it's football. It's hand-to-hand combat, man. And the average fan thinks that hand checking never went away or went away. And I'm like,
right.
it's far worse because
Yeah,
guys
it's
can
funny.
actually dribble.
And all the folks who are saying the league was too soft now complain about it's like, oh my gosh, it's too much physicality. I have to sit here going like 6 weeks ago, you guys were saying everything's too soft. Now it's like, oh, it's just too much now.
There's a foul every trip down the court.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
just can't call them all. So
James, I'll ask you kind of a similar question I asked last time. Of the bigs maybe available around 19, Quaintance maybe is one, maybe Sinak, Steinbach, I don't know, Graves, maybe I'll say his name as well. Who do you like maybe at 19 for the Toronto?
we can all agree if Quaintance is there, run to the podium.
Run
Yes.
the
Yes.
podium, yep, I
Without
agree.
question.
If Hannes is there, run to the podium.
Okay.
Sinak, I we're family. I think Sinak is I think he's a bit I think I wish the best for Chris Sinak.
Oh, Jesus.
I just don't I've seen him in person. I think the physical tools are great, but the skill level is a work in progress. And for as much there's the meme, man, flirting versus sexual harassment, right? Chris Sinak is a 32% three-point shooter. He shot 64% from the free throw line, and yet, you hear upside, upside. Koa Pete shot 33% from the three-point line. He shot 64% from the free throw line, and you hear go back to school. Now, again, measurements obviously favor Sinak, right? But what are those measurements if you didn't block a shot a game in college? That's where I am on him. So I think he is a lot of I call it permanent potential.
Uh, it's always a scary proposition when you hear
Yeah.
those phrases like that.
James, why Steinbach did you say run to the podium? Is it the offensive skill set, like what he did as a freshman? What is it with what
I think he's a great rebounder.
Yeah.
And I think he has great hands. While he's not a good shot blocker, I do think he'll offer some he's still mobile. So like he's not gonna beat you. He's not gonna protect the rim, but he'll be able to, get in gaps. He'll be a horizontal defender better than a vertical defender. And I think there is some potential for him to stretch the floor. And again, on a team like Toronto, when everybody's a good defender, you can hide him a little, not necessarily hide him. You don't have to rely on him to be your second line of defense because it's going to be hard to get there with CMB and with Scotty Barnes there. So already playing on the ball defense. That's why I like Steinbach there.
Yeah.
And then Graves, I think Graves is a backup. I think he has power forward size, center athleticism, very good shot blocker, but offensively, he's gonna have to like be a really good shooter because he's just not a really good athlete at all.
Yeah, he's slow. From what
Yeah, he's
I
really
don't mean that in a
slow.
negative way, but just like it just seems his movements are very.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
catch up with him if I
Yeah.
was defending
Yeah.
him.
So
But
he
we did.
basically, to me, he has center game and a power forward's body.
Yeah,
Yeah, we saw that too when we did him last week. It's like nothing pops at you when you watch the videos, like or the tape is like, it's like everything's just solid. That's all it is. It's like
Yeah,
okay, and that smells like, Ben, to your point, it smells like backup, right?
yeah,
It's like
yeah. And you there's value in being a rotation guy, but if those other guys, I think Steinbach is just before. What are you guys gonna do with Pearl, man?
that's the
Before we even
problem.
get there, what are you gonna do
Listen,
with Pearl?
listen. Toronto's a very nice place. There's plenty of places for him to hang out,
well,
grab a bite to eat. You know, he has a nice girlfriend here and all that type of stuff. You know, he's enjoying the nightlife. He's here to stay, and he's very well paid to be here to stay as well.
I'm going to make one comment. The new executive in Dallas thinks he's a top 10 center. That's all I'll say.
That is true. Hey, man, get him on the phone and let's make a deal.
That team already has. They already have Derek Lively, who is coming off a foot injury, and he's gonna want to get paid because you know, the value went down. But hey, if he's healthy, he's gonna want to get paid. They're probably gonna try to flip Gafford.
Yep.
They found off the scrap heap Musa Cisse, who's like a rebounding machine. I don't think you're gonna pull a fast one on the Mavericks fan base and get Pirtle down here. Is what I'm trying to say.
James, one IQ.
Nah, man, I'm good.
James, I'm the resident Mavericks fan on this pod here, and I can't escape him. I'll just put it that way. So I'll just put that. I'll say this: I made the joke to the fellas. I said, I just pray Cooper's not playing center by the time the season starts. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey man, all I'll say is that the relationship between Bobby Masai, he ain't gonna pick up the phone and fart in it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. So there's at least that. But yeah, I think the reason why I like the notion of getting a guy who's a center, assuming that they don't get a second pick or move up or whatever, the Pirtle will play. Will not play, I guess, enough minutes in a way that will allow someone else to step in.
I get that. It's a lot of money to be paperweight, man.
By the way, the price of the brick just went up because of the playoffs. So he's now $34 million guaranteed in 2030.
Yeah, that's a weird thing on his contract next year, right?
Yeah, it's games played. And also, the other incentive is making it X far in the playoffs. And he is checking off the playoff boxes year for starting with this year. And then if he makes another round, price of the brick goes up again.
Gotta figure out who his agent is, man. That dude is a genius.
Yeah, I know.
The Pearl deal just keeps on giving, man. Let me just say it, man. As I sit here and watch the Spurs pretty much build half of their roster off of the Pearl deal.
Yeah, Spurs dynasty off a Pirtle trade.
Yeah.
It just keeps giving, man.
And you know, it doesn't. I'm sorry to kick you guys while you're down, but like he was outplayed by Jared Allen, and like Jared Allen is just so scary as a big. Like, I mean, it's not the Cleveland Cavaliers podcast, but I would trade him so fast after that Knicks series. He was just there was just no life, and I'm like, that's the guy Pirtle can't
That's
keep
what I'm
up with
saying.
him.
Yeah,
I mean, like Pirtle in the Raptors front court made these guys look like they're like the next coming of the Twin Towers. I'm sitting there going, like, what is going on here, guy?
I'll never forget a couple years ago. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was Steven Adams,
Yes.
and he was rebounding against us, and he literally had like 3 guys held back with one arm and was like with the other arm just grabbing it down like he was playing a bunch of school kids. And I was just like, my goodness, this is just like, I just couldn't do anything but laugh. I was like, this is just, I have nothing left in me. I'm just laughing now, right? Like, but yeah, between Quaintance and Hannes, say both are on the board for the Raptors. Who are you selecting? Are you going for the top 5?
I'm going Quaintance, man. I'm going Quaintance. There's so much upside. He can pass too. Like he can pass. There's flashes of him being able to put the ball on the ground. Like,
yep, I've seen him.
I honestly think he could be like. I think he can be as good as Jalen Darren is on offense and be a better player on defense. Now, Jalen Darren developed. I'm talking about as far as this year. Darren, they gave him more freedom to put the ball on the ground. He was kind of taking guys off of the dribble. I think Quaintance can do that too, and he's just as strong and he's more vertical. I don't know, man. ACLs, you know, they don't really scare me as much as. I mean, but it's not my money to invest in these guys. But I would take him in the top 10.
Yeah.
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 Probably
I think
based on
it's tough to pass up on it. But yeah, coach, sorry.
It's just probably based on medicals too. Like if his medicals are fine, he's probably going top 10, top 12. But if they're not, it might be further down.
Yeah, yeah, and I, you need a rotation of bigs
Mhm.
in the NBA. And if his knees don't check out, maybe he's a 18 to 20 minute per game guy, but that's his 18 to 20 minutes until hopefully, hopefully it's just swelling and not, another tear.
Yeah,
It obviously limits him, but you seen the playoffs, man, like a couple stretches of Luke Cornett can go either way. Like
yes.
against the Thunder in game was it 7?
Yep.
Man, that was big. But game 5, nah, man, it just wasn't working. So I just think he's an impact big.
Yeah.
Mhm. Cool. Let me just ask. I guess. Do you mind if I broaden it out now?
Man,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Let me ask you. Let me give you, I guess, two options in this case. Give me a guy in this case you think people are kind of underselling, and maybe it should go higher in your mind. And I guess in the reverse, a guy people are really hot on, but maybe you might think might be a little too much at this point to go that high for him. You're maybe a little lower on than maybe others are. Just curious to see if there's, what you're thinking of a few players.
Just in general on the
Yeah, in
draft.
general. Yeah, we brought out the draft. Yeah.
Um, so again, obviously, well, we'll see, but I think Ebuka Okorie is as good as Kingston Flemings, right?
Oh, okay. Now,
This is interesting now.
yeah.
I think that.
You see, you see.
So that
I'm
that
not-
that's my swing right there.
all right. And
Go
honestly, I
ahead.
would take him over Kingston Fleming
Yeah,
myself.
I agree
You
with you,
would, or
honestly.
you
Yeah,
would,
I'm
or you
not. I'm
wouldn't.
not Kingston Fleming's guy. I've never gotten it. I don't get it. I watch him all year. I text these guys like, I don't get it. I'm trying. We've talked to
So
a friend of Pod, and he loves him, but I'm like, I don't get it, man. It's
so here's my thing. I mean, since we're all in agreement, I think Kingston Flemings is a high floor point guard.
Mhm.
I don't think he's a high ceiling point guard.
Right.
I do think he can shoot. I'm not afraid of his volume, but at the same time, when I watch him and I'm like, you can't pass up open jumpers. You just can't. You can't blow up. You can't speed your way. If you guys play video games, you
Yeah.
can't R2 your way in the NBA to success. It just doesn't work. Like you're not. I don't care how fast you are. Wimbenyama 7'6", and if it's not Wimbenyama, uh, Evan
It's yeah.
Mobley, Chet, those guys cover ground, right? So I think if it, don't pass up open threes. I hate when he does that. When I did my video on him, I'm like, I hate it because I've worked with kids who are really fast, and I'm like, dude, you're passing up an open shot to shoot a contested shot, and so that's where I am was on Kingston as far as the shooting. I think it's gonna be fine for somebody who is billed to be no, he's extremely fast. That's great. But of the point guards, he was the worst finisher at the rim. And I don't think, man, it sounds like I hate this kid, but I don't. I don't think he's a super dynamic playmaker as well. I think he sees the floor well. Matter of fact, I don't think he's any better a playmaker than Okori. He just plays with better players. They make the same passes, is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. So in your mind, I guess going back to my original question, is he the opposite side? Is he a guy people are much higher on than maybe what you are? Is it Fleming's that guy, or is there someone else?
Not necessarily draft pick, but I think ceiling, I'm a little different than everybody else. I've seen people have him as high as 5, and I'm like, I can't get that high on 5.
Okay, you summed up my thoughts all year, and I couldn't find a way to say it, and you said it right there, the ceiling floor analogy. And I was like, that's it
Yeah.
in a nutshell. I'm like, I'm watching these games like, what am I missing? Is like he's a nice player, and like you're right. I could see him starting on someone's team or even a 6 man to someone and be an effective 6 man if you want, but and playing lots of minutes. But I don't see top 10 guy where it's like he could change my fortunes type of guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not seeing it. And I'm praying for Dallas, like, please please don't. But I know in this case, the new person that's running things likes small guards, and I'm very nervous about this. I got a guy in Arizona that I would love to see play with Cooper. Because that's my favorite guard in this draft. I'm like, please let him drop the Dallas.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it's like if you take Kingston at 9, if you're the Mavs, I think he's your third. He's your third option.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he has a lot to improve on to be like a co-star. I just don't see co-star from him. Not for Cooper Flag.
Right.
I don't think his ceiling is any higher than Braden Burries, is what I'm trying to say. And it has nothing to do with his length. I just look at him and I'm like, I don't think his handle is super great. It's just a lot of I'm faster than everybody else. And he's gonna have some stuff he needs to work on. And also, I don't think he has the scorer's mentality, shiftiness, while he does have the same speed that Tyrese Maxey has. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if he's not that kind of guy, I think he's just a high floor guy who
I hope you're not
complements.
describing Speedy Claxton.
I honestly think he would be like not Derek White. Because Derek White's a great I don't think he's I sound like I don't like him. I don't think his defense is as good as they build it to be either, because he played for Houston. Houston is gonna beat you up.
That's another part of it that makes me a little concerned.
Yeah. And I say all that to say I still have him like 10th. I just don't believe his ceiling is as high as everybody else thinks.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And then as far as other guys, I think that's really. I mean, I talked to my brother who is formerly employed by a team, and I'm like, I really feel good about this draft. Now I will say this. I'm sorry, it just came up to me. I'm really high on Dailyn Swain, and I saw Kevin O'Connor put out a mock today. I know Kevin O'Connor. He has Swain in the 20s. I think Swain is like at worst 16, 17.
Okay.
I really like Dailyn Swain.
And he's been beating that drum for a minute, man. It's like, he's kind of like, anybody interested in Swain anyway?
Yeah, I ended up doing a solo episode because I'm like,
Swain.
No one wants to do this. I'll just, I have some time midweek.
Hey man, sometimes you got to stand on these islands, man. That's how I felt about Michael Brown in February when he was shooting bricks.
Yeah, I think. Well, there's few things about Swain. There's going to be a nostalgia factor coming off this specific finals, however it goes, with last night's game and how that went, and the player that was involved with it. There's going to be some. OG? I don't think so, but I think a lot of Raptor fans are going to be like clamoring and say, "Man, boy, we miss that two-way guy." Now, I think he has a little bit more juice offensively than OG did coming in. However, on this specific roster, someone's going to have to move.
Yes. You guys have a lot of wings clogging up the things.
Yes.
We're moving furniture.
Yeah.
Swain is a very Raptorsy type player. I don't know if that's a good thing. That's what worries me a little bit.
I think he's a little... So, to me, if I'm just comparing it to who's on the roster, just keeping it simple, he does a lot of the things on day one that only one other guy on the roster does from that type of size and position, which is RJ Barrett. His ability to just put pressure on the rim. But he's a lot more dynamic than RJ, and I think that he can more easily develop a mid-range than RJ. That's how I see it. Now, I could be way off with that one, but, I know that the shot form needs a little bit of work in terms of the refinement, and yet he put together a decent season on it.
See, Coach, he's always backdooring trying to get your guy out of town, man. See how he's...
I'm sorry, Coach. I'm sorry, man.
I mean,
Dailyn Swain do besides make a game-winning shot.
RJ's a little family business here, man. It's just R&B discussion.
It's funny. You ask 3 different people about 3 different Raptors, and you're going to get 3 different answers.
Yes. He knows. I
don't like RJ Barrett. He's from Toronto. We got to keep him. Hit a game-winning shot. He makes too much money. Yeah.
Knows the fan base well. Okay.
Yeah. But you guys all agree that you got 2 people making a lot of money who don't need to start.
Yes.
But Dailyn Swain, so he shot the ball pretty well from three, especially considering his first 2 years he shot terribly.
Hmm.
He reminds me of one of my favorite Mavs, which is Najee Marshall. Like Najee Marshall is just a hooper. Like go out there, play. I'm a guard, a bunch of guys. I can play one-on-one basketball. What position do I play? It doesn't matter. I'm just
He's a
gonna go
cool
out there
kid,
and
man.
just hoop. And that's what I think David Swain. He's just a hooper,
Yep.
and he's a career 80% free throw shooter, which means he
Yep.
has good touch. He just has to get that hitch out of his jumper,
Yeah.
especially off the catch. He shoots the ball really well off the dribble, but you have to think in the NBA, he's not going to get nearly as many off the dribble shots because he's not going to be the man. But I do buy you clean up that hitch, he's going to be good. And you look at, I think he's in that Najee Marshall, Peyton Watson range where
That's
if he's
good.
paid, like Peyton Watson's going to get paid a bunch of money
Yeah.
because he can create enough of his own offense. He shoots the ball and he defends. I think that's what Dailyn
Hey,
Swain
James,
is.
you ever seen anyone get paid so much by sitting on a bench?
Do that again? Huh?
That Peyton Watson's number kept going up as that series
Oh
went.
yeah, man! I'm telling you, man, that NBA life is just great. Like you can get hurt and make more money
Money.
because the guy in front of you is not good anymore, or
He's
relatively
now like,
speaking.
he's like
Yeah.
Lord now. It's like we had Peyton Watson, we won that series.
Exactly, and it's like his agent is probably like,
Yeah.
no, you're not healthy. Just sit down. You'll
Yeah.
make all you
I
be
got
healthy
us.
next year. Yeah, I got us. Exactly. I got us. Don't worry about that. I know you want to play, but
Oh man.
we got life.
we got to handle
money
the
to
home
make.
front first.
Yeah, I think Austin should have taken that same tip. You see,
Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Lakers owe him a favor though, so I think he's gonna
True.
get paid. Still. They owe him because he took a very team friendly.
yeah,
The
he took that
first time.
hometown discount, man.
Yeah, so he's gonna get paid, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Dailyn Swain was, putting the extra icy hot on, because it just didn't make sense to play, yeah. So, but I think that's what not Dailyn Swain. I'm sorry, Peyton Watson. I think Dailyn Swain is of the Najee Marshall, Peyton Watson range of really good small forward who. Once the shooting improves, he's just gonna be a really good basketball player.
I also look at it this way for a Raptor standpoint. I'm looking at 2 years from now because I don't think that the Raptors are going to be a contender next year. So I'm looking 2 years from now. Do I really see, Glorilla and her man asking for more shots here?
What are the Raptors have so much promise and negativity at the same time. It's like you got three guys that you want to get rid of, maybe four.
Yeah.
I think you can all agree that it's Murray Boyles and Scotty Barnes, and
Yes.
depending on who you ask, RJ Barrett, and then. Like Grady Dick, like, are you guys reaching for his passport to send him back my way?
I think he's reaching for his passport.
I was in my wrong passport.
I'm part of the Grady fan club, but I've had the hashtag free Grady all year, man.
I think his bags are packed, and he's just like, "Oh, the call came." All right,
why is he not successful?
Oh man, that's a pod
that's
on
a
its
whole
own.
podcast by itself.
You know what? Let's get into it. Yeah.
I got time.
I have a theory. This is my theory. I've mentioned to the guys.
Yeah.
Firstly, I think initially, I don't think he's a Darko guy. I think in this case here, I think he's a Bobby guy. And I think that dynamic has been playing out. He had some special, Kanye West workout plan for him that was only for him and nobody else in this case here. And they brought him back. I'd never seen that before in my life for a rookie, and especially for one that's supposed to be a lottery pick. I had never seen that before. He gets the opportunity last year to play lots of minutes. He puts up big numbers and stuff like that. And the moment, in this case, guys started coming back, Darko was like, I'm done. I'm good. It's like, I thought we're supposed to be developing these guys. He's a lottery pick. Shouldn't he be getting at least 20, 25 minutes a night? Nope, we're done. And I think that's where the dynamic, and I think the thing is Grady plays a much more imaginative type of offensive game everyone focused on the defense. That's not really mean the issue. The issue is that he wants to go and put the ball on the ground a little bit, get to that midi at times, do his thing. And he is a scorer. And I think the thing is, Darko sees him as a shooter, just to stop in the corner.
Yeah.
And I think because let's keep it real. Because of the way Grady looks, people think he should be sitting in the corner. Grady, in this case, that dude gets off the bounce a lot more than people expect. And it's like he's an imaginative type of scorer. And he's one of the few guys after outside Brandon Ingram can hit certain shots on this team. But he sees him as you sit in the corner and just wait for a double team and kick it out to you on the weak side. And that's it. And I think Grady's frustrated because Grady's like, based on what he saw last year in 2 months, like, I can do more than that. And I think that's where the is coming from. Where I
need to change the scenery then.
Yeah.
And because there was a bit of a minutes battle throughout the year between him and Jacoby Walter. Jacoby figured it out early. I'm going to stay in the corner and make threes in Darko's offense. And that's what got him going. Now he's got tons of playing time now. Grady, like Beyond said, off the dribble, he can score. He's a scorer. But I will say this, he's not going to survive in the league shooting 30% from three. He's not.
That reminds me of, man, I don't want to make it a white on white thing.
I know you're going to say, I know the guy you're going to say.
Stauskas was a scorer, not a, no, better yet, Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect is a scorer who shoots.
Yes.
And he needs volume for it to work.
Right.
He has to catch fire. He can't come off. He's not Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard could come off the bench, 2 ice packs off his knees, and knock down every shot because he's a great shooter.
Right.
It's just interesting that Grady Dick, he had his moments last year when guys were hurt and he was scoring the ball. It's basketball has its I don't know the word tropes, I want to say, where we assume the white guy is a shooter, but he just might be a scorer.
Right, exactly.
There's a few other things though. So I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate, but I will first tack on to Beyond and Beyond's point and Coach's point. I think it was Taylor Rooks, everyone's favorite, interviewer, right? And she was interviewing Grady.
Oh, you already know he told a serious lie. What he said, he's going to lead the league in scoring?
No, not that. No. But he was sorry. That too. But no, she was asking him like, who do you model your game after? And he said, Paul George.
Okay.
Right?
It was funny is I get it, but because when you say that to Taylor Rooks, nobody believes you.
Yeah.
Everybody lies in front of her.
Yes.
Consider the source, right?
Yes.
I've already forgotten the question. If I'm
you all, what did Jay LeBron say? He's going to win 5 championships?
Yes. So
she's done her job, and people just lie to her face.
So when you're saying that, and your coach clearly isn't really seeing you in that way, I think there's a problem there. I think obviously there's confidence issues that I think came up throughout the year from a lack of playing time. Because to your point, you have a guy like Jamison Battle who literally won you games. He actually helped win a playoff game with RJ Barrett, funny enough. And then it's like the next game, this is early on in the season, 7 of 7. And I think he went 5 of 5 in that playoff game too.
Mm-hmm. He loves Cleveland.
And then all of a sudden it was like DNP. It was like, wait, what? Brother can't get him 5 minutes? Like, I'm not gonna say a minute, but 5 minutes? Like, can he at least see the floor? Even garbage time? Like, nope. Nah. So I think there is that aspect. But when I went back and watched Grady's game, I do feel like he struggles a little bit with the spacing on the threes, and he struggled a little bit with it at Kansas. I remember watching him versus who was his Arkansas dance partner that game. It was Anthony Black, and he just didn't know how to judge. It's like, dude, just let it fly. You gotta let it fly. And it's like he was a little bit overly timid, and then he attacked. Now, you can get away with that when everyone is at that level. But when you're going up against the NBA, it's harder to judge that, especially when that is your primary responsibility, is to be that that man taking the shots and spacing the floor.
Yeah, there's definitely a psychology where it's like certain guys you got to kind of build up, and other guys you got to just pull back. Like you want, like for example, you want to tell Keontae George and Skate to pull back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's like he's going from that to making bad decisions where it's like, okay, you're on a fast break. You do not need to try to dunk it on Giannis. You aren't that guy, pal. Like, I'm sorry.
Listen, it might have been an Amazon game. Taylor Rooks might have been.
I was about to say Rooks might have been. Yeah.
You know, on 2K, you get these bonuses, these perks, man. Taylor Rooks perk, 5 inches to your vertical, man.
I understand. I understand
Too, but
James will be at Yucks here working, at 10 o'clock here on Thursday.
Man, you gotta be realistic with yourself. But it's interesting, man. You guys make perfect sense. And it's almost like you want so Tyler Hero is a scorer, but he's a great shooter.
Yes.
Right.
And that's not what Grady Dick is. He's a scorer who can, I get it, but man.
Teams should take a chance on him though. He's only 21 or 22 years old.
He's still a lot. He was a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna,
Yeah,
he
played well last year.
Can I ask James this question? Because I think, I'm not sure what we're doing at time, but I think it'd be fair to ask this question: what the number one pick overall? What A, who you think is going to be, and B, I gotta ask about Peterson, man. I mean, look, I'm not sold on Peterson. The talent is unbelievable, but it's between the ears that got me a little concerned, or I don't know, maybe it's chest. I don't know. There's something that's off.
I don't understand the critique on him. As far as his mentality, he was so good in high school, and I talked about this with somebody who has really close ties to another lottery pick. He was so good in high school. If he did not play at Kansas, he would probably been the consensus number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
I commend him for trying to gut it out and play through an injury. Now, again, how hurt do you think he is? I'm not gonna. If the kid told me his whole body tightened up, I'm just gonna believe him because I think he made it a conversation because of how he played, but because he was hurt. I think he's better than AJ Dybantsa. I think. Oh man, we really close. I think AJ Dybantsa is really good. I think AJ Dybantsa is number one pick worthy. I think there are 3 number one picks in this draft. I don't think there's a huge gap between any of them, is what I'm trying to say. I think if Darren Peterson has the same on-ball juice and you pair it with his shooting that he had at Kansas, I think he's the best player in this draft. But the problem is, was it injury or was it you didn't have the same physical advantages you had in high school? That's where I am on Darren Peterson. Go ahead.
No, just the talent I don't even question as well too. Is like it's just weird things. Like when I see Bill Self kind of asking, like like when you left the games, like I didn't know he was leaving the game type of stuff. Like it's like, and then when they lost the tournament, and I remember seeing this part too. And one of the other guys that we talked to in this case is like it noticed it as well as my sister. He's at the free throw line. Of course they're going to lose, but he's trying to make things happen. It's like near the end of the game. The guys be dapping up even to get in the game. At the free throw line. I didn't really see his teammates doing none of that with him, man. It was just like more like barely going through the motion. So I don't know what was going on in behind the scenes, but it seemed like there was some tension going on there. I don't know what it's from. That's all I'm saying. And it just makes me nervous. I'm glad for his sake. Sacramento did not get the number one pick overall because I think that might have been a bad combination. Mm-hmm. So for his sake, I think he got saved in that sense.
Yeah. I think, you know what? Another fellow Raptor, he may not be as whatever you want to call it, but I think he has a lot of the same personality as Kawhi Leonard, where I just want to hoop. I don't want to do any of this other stuff. I might not dap you up, but like I really care because, like I said, if he could have shut it down because they say he started cramping during the preseason, right? Mm-hmm. He could have shut it down after he dominated Louisville that half. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm pretty sure like some of his people was like, "Hey, what do we have to gain from this?" Right? He could have shut it down after North Carolina because he was at one point averaging like a point a minute.
Yeah, he was
And
already.
for him to come back and try to play in the Big 12, and then and to AJ's point, like AJ, he severely outplayed AJ in that half. And like I just kind of question with AJ. I have questions about everybody. I kind of question AJ how much of a winner he is
Mm.
because there were get for one, I don't want to hear you say I went to BYU, we didn't have talent. You pick the school, right? You buy the groceries. If the food is bad, it's because you can't cook, right? Or you didn't read the directions. So he picked BYU, and that wasn't a bad decision. Um, I just feel like he can be a ball stopper,
Mm.
and as athletic and as talented he is on the as much of an athlete he does not use it on the defensive end. Now again, at the same time, you want defensive tools. Dylan Harper didn't guard anybody at Rutgers, and now he's like the best defender in the world. Situation, but with AJ, there were several games that I'm like, all right, well, yes, we give you props for figuring it out in the second half, but why is it taking you so long to
Mm.
get going? Also, there's the games where they fight back, then they claw to the end, and the final possession, you run to the corner and watch Rob Wright dribble off his foot. And it was like three different occasions. I just don't know. It just kind of feels like media, maybe it's his team, maybe whoever it is, they're trying to put a lot of space between him and these other kids, and I don't think that there's a lot of space. And with that being said, I still have AJ going number one, but I think there are three number one picks in this draft.
Is
Who's your
Boozer one of those
third?
three number one picks?
Yes,
Okay,
Boozer,
Boozer. Yeah.
Boozer, Darren, and AJ. That's a tier. I think Caleb Wilson's in a different tier, and I think
Oh,
Mike.
man, I'm in such pain, man. Because
What's the
honestly,
thing?
me, maybe it's my Tar Heel bias in this case here because I think actually Wilson's a better player than Boozer. I think Boozer in my mind, something about Boozer doesn't sit right with me athletically, man. I don't know. Like he pushed around some guys in college, but I don't think that's going to look the same way to get those shots off in the NBA. And I'm a little nervous about that.
I get that, but I also don't think I think you have way better point guard play in the NBA. I think that he's a pick and pop guy. I've made this comparison. I stole it. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's to me is Detroit Pistons Blake Griffin, where I can be a bully, but I can make plays, and I can shoot. I'm not just gonna run you over the whole game, but I'm gonna try to run you over enough times because I'm just physically stronger than guys. I do think Boozer probably needs to lose 10 pounds. He's gained. It feels like he's gained a lot of unnecessary weight from high school to college. I think he's just too heavy at 250. He probably needs to be about 240. That'll help with his lateral mobility. I just feel like Caleb Wilson, um, he's still really, really raw, man. Like he at one point he was like 50% on layups. And I'm like, you're 6'9", super athletic, 50% on layups. You watch the film, his balance is terrible when he can't run and dunk. And the shooting, 71% free throw shooter. He started making jumpers at the end of the game. It's still a work in progress. His base is wide. You can fix those things. I just think he's really, really raw. And I think he might be he's a high energy guy, not a high skill guy. And you can get skilled. I just don't think he's in the same tier as Boozer. I think Boozer's
Yeah,
just
it's
a
funny
better
because I
basketball
think
player.
Wilson's ceiling higher than Boozer's if they both reach their peak in my
Uh-huh.
like I think Wilson could actually go into a different level than Boozer. Like Boozer's almost a bit like I see Boozer almost like his dad. He's gonna be an all-star type of
That's
player. But
that's not fair, man.
I'm saying he's gonna different players, but from a level where he's gonna be like a 4 or 5 time all-star perhaps, and he's gonna be a solid maybe second option on a really good team. I'm not saying that. I mean, that's a pretty good player.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
max contract.
exactly. No two ways. I'm not saying like he's gonna be
Yeah,
like a
I get
bum or
that.
anything, right? But yeah, because dad was a pretty damn good player. But I mean, he probably made a bad decision. Probably didn't, probably should stay in Cleveland. But but hey, we'll never know. It's a sliding doors moment. But that said, I think Boozer. I mean, there seems to be a little lower ceiling in my mind, and maybe it's to your point, the size where it's like and the athleticism just seems to be a little less. And maybe when he loses the weight, he might be a little springier, but that concerned me a little bit watching him during the season, man.
I got to see Caleb Wilson in person. They played SMU, and it's one game, but he couldn't post anybody up. There were smaller guys. He's just not strong enough,
not strong
and
enough.
his balance is terrible. And like maybe it was just that game. Guys have bad days, but he didn't get the ball. He pouted, and he just didn't impact the game. I think if he were a better ball handler in the half court, I would 100% buy him having a higher upside.
Mhm.
But in transition, he can dribble. In the half court, he's got one, two, any kind. We just talked about it's the WWE in the NBA these days. You bump him, he's falling to the ground.
Yeah, he definitely got to get in the weight room. No two ways about it.
But it just may even be like a natural thing, like uh Evan Mobley can't gain weight.
Right. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like head, neck, and then right here where my chest is, that's where his waist is. You just can't gain weight when
Yeah.
you're built
That's
that way.
actually a comparison I had for him. Was ceiling was like Evan Mobley-esque, which is that's an all-star. It's a defensive
Yeah,
player of the year, maybe.
but that's your second best player. Maybe really Mobley should be your third because you can't give him the ball to create any offense.
Well, that's why Harden
Play
chose.
finisher.
Yeah. Boozer's interesting though because he had a historic season, like better than Cooper Flag actually at Duke per all the numbers.
Yeah.
But the weight gain and maybe the athleticism was different than it was in high school. I know that Duke cafeteria food must be pretty good or something.
Hey man, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to Duke for a business camp when I was like 16. Man, they fed me good out there. That was 25 years
How come they can't get half decent offensive line in football?
Man, they just started. I mean, they had a really good quarterback till they lost him to Miami.
Yeah. But NIL will definitely help Duke. Let's put it that way.
But I like Boozer in Memphis though. You put him with Cedric Coward, who I
He
love.
might win
These
Rookie
guys
of the
know.
Year.
And then Edie, who's Canadian, if he ever gets healthy again, like with Edie's potential rim protection and Boozer's ability to play offense, there's a potential that could work, I think, with him there. I wouldn't depend on Edie because I think he's probably going to be hurt a bunch. But if Boozer gets a ton of time next year, it wouldn't shock me if he won Rookie of the Year. He's going to get a lot of
think
touches
if he
in
goes
Memphis.
to Memphis, he's 18-9 with
Yeah, wouldn't
2
shock
or
me.
3 assists.
Which is his daddy's numbers.
But he's doing it at 19.
Yeah.
So
That's true. Good point. Yep. His dad's peak was around 21 or so, maybe at times. Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. You brought up Zach Edey. These guys, these 300-pound guys, I don't know how they're gonna be able to play in the game. It just may be too fast for them to play more than a handful of minutes.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to move up and down, up and down, up and down at 300 pounds.
But
Not in
you
today's
chase the
NBA.
guys out in the corner for three.
It's just not. It's not sustainable. That's what worries me about those. Like even with Mara at 8, he's not 300, but he's 250. But like that game against Alabama was a test, And okay, that's Alabama. The entire league plays like Alabama, but better. So that's kind of where I am with him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's before I forget, there's a guy who we never talk about. And that's Karim Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering, do you have any sort of read on that? And I know Coach had a question, and I don't want to take too. I've already taken a lot of your time up, James.
We good. Lopez. I don't know why Lopez is higher than Dailyn Swain. If we're saying two guys who are tall who have shooting concerns, I think Swain is a better basketball player, better defender. Lopez, I think there's a cap on how good of a shooter he can be. He had a smoking hot start at the beginning of the season in the NBL, and then he cooled off. I want to say and again, he's young, but he's like 32% from 3 those 2 seasons. And again, 72% free throw shooter. How good of a shooter are you really going to be? Unfairly to Kareem Lopez is I I look at the Australian Basketball League and I'm like, JaVale McGee averaged 20 and 10. He's like 39.
That's what we did him. That's what my thing was too. Is like, I mean,
How good is that league, man?
that's why my question, James. When we did him, is like, it's hard to judge what I'm looking at here because I really know who these dudes are that he's playing. Like,
Man.
what are we talking about here, man?
And it's JaVale McGee is averaging 20 and 10. And he's not like young, like he's
No,
old.
no. Ooh.
So, maybe that's not fair to Kareem Lopez, but I just want to be honest, man. Like
Oh,
40-year-old man out there averaging 20 and 10. What kind of league are we playing
right.
in?
He named LeBron, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that's where I am with Kareem Lopez. You had one more question?
Coach, I think you had questions about in the second round or something like that, but
Yeah, so I get two questions. One is a guy who's maybe projected to go second round, but might be late first. Zubi Ejiofor. He's worked out up here. Had a good year at St. John. Just wondering, where do you think his range is going to be, and just what do you think of him as a player?
Zuby, excuse me. Zuby went to high school like 10 minutes away from where I live.
No,
Uh, so I'm not gonna say anything bad about Zuby. One of the kids I used to train was his point guard, and it was just basically like just throw the ball anywhere near the rim. Zuby's gonna dunk it. I think Zuby's really good. I think his range is late first, early second. Um, I think that the motor is great. I think he's a good passer. Part of that is because, like I said, he played regular high school basketball in the age where all these kids here in the States go play, prep. And, on his high school team, he was a triple team from jump ball. He had to learn how to pass. He had to learn how to shoot because I can't, I don't want to shoot with guys tackling me all day, or do I need to, learn how to space the floor. I love his energy. He's just a bit undersized. I do think he is a five, true and true. But, energy five at 28, 29, 30, like those, that's fine. I just think he's if not first round, not if not a late first, he's a very, very, very early second round pick. Excuse me.
yeah. Okay. I have one more last question for just about the second round. We have pick 50 as well.
Mhm.
Is there someone in the late second round that you think teams should maybe take a look at?
Robert McCray, the fifth from Florida State. I don't know if he'll be there. Baba Miller is interesting. I guess the word is on Baba. It took him a couple years to grow into his. No, he had to learn how to play like a big man because he had a late growth spurt. And like rebounding, like you don't really rebound as a guard, or you rebound uncontested shots, and he had to learn how to bang. I think that's the story on him. There was one more. I like Trevon Brazil. Again, I don't know if he'll be there at 50. I really like Trevon Brazil. And as far as guards, I mean, Bruce Thornton, he has a lot of buzz. International guys, I'm thinking like Luigi Suego from Italy. He's 7'3".
Yeah.
He can shoot. But at the same time, he might just be getting feedback. He'll get some money in college, and I definitely wouldn't be mad at that. Those are kind of the guys that I'm looking at. The
right.
second round is just really kind of hard to predict because there's going to be guys who are going to like, don't draft me.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick my spot.
Yep.
Yeah. I think overall, I mean, first of all, we covered a lot, and I want to thank you for all the time that you've given us. Beyond, I don't know if you want to have the final say here before we go out, but
Hey.
folks, before we go any further, I will say, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will have James' podcast, and I believe he has a Substack as well. Those will be in the description down below, of course. But beyond, any final words
Hey, man.
aside from your thoughts on Kingston Fleming?
Well, I'm going the opposite way. Let me get positive in this case here, man. I said before, man. My favorite guard and my favorite player in this entire draft is my man from Arizona, Mr. Burries. And I'm hoping this case here, the boys in Big D got him on the board, man. That's all I'm hoping for. That's all I'm hoping for. Because him and Cooper, oh man, I have dreams of that in tandem, man. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I think he has like big time star potential. I don't know. I always see him a bit like a Jason Kidd with a jump shot. like he has some of those things where he can actually. And why I say so is like he's similar to Kidd, where it's like you're watching the game and it doesn't seem like anything spectacular is happening, and then next thing you look at the board, it's like, wait, he's got 14 points. He's got 8 boards. He's one of those type of guys where all of a sudden you look around and he's like, holy smokes, he's filling up the stat sheet, and he has a calmness about him that I love too.
You know who I think he could be? Desmond Bane. Now, Desmond Bane is a great shooter, and the jury's still out on Burries being that level of shooter.
Right.
But secondary playmaker, uh, Desmond Bane gets downhill going right. He's gonna try to score. I think that's what my ceiling for Burries is store brand Desmond Bane.
Oh, okay, wow, okay. Don't get me wrong, Bane's a fine player. I'm not saying that, but yeah, I guess
is he at least like at the Kirkland level?
It depends on what store. We have Aldi here, man. So
okay, got you. I was thinking the Costco brand.
So, man, hey, that's all I drink is the
okay, well there we go.
Yeah.
Somebody, Costco.
It depends on what store. It depends on what store.
Yeah, Bane's a fine player. I guess I see him a little higher than James on that one.
They traded 5 picks for Bane, man.
I know
Orlando thinks he's more than a fine player.
Yeah, true, no doubt. He's caused the Pistons a whole bunch of headaches, so no two ways about it. Bane can play, but I think I like his combination, his size with Cooper. I'm like, oh gosh, I can see that playing out. So we'll see. I said before, I really like him. I mean, I like a lot of the guys in this draft, and I think that area around about 8 to about 12 is going to be some interesting stuff going on there because of some of the teams are in there. The Giannis cloud is looming.
Yes.
Before I go, I will say this, man. I think the NBA is going to look totally different once the finals is over.
Yes.
Like, you're going to have to update 2K because it's going to be all kind of movement.
Yes. Even the folks that do it manually, they may want to wait.
Yeah. Like you legit, like wait until you might as well just buy 2K28 at that point because it's gonna look totally different.
Yes.
For real.
I like Burries a little bit like Derek White, like a hybrid of White and Bane. I like him something like that. I think he could be a bit more dynamic like White, like the size.
Yeah,
but also like you said. I think the shooting potential is there. I loved him in Arizona. I just thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, he had to grow on me. I know he got off to a slow start, and I wasn't like really, really high on him coming out of high school because he was just older. And while Michael Brown was older, like you look at Michael Brown at 17, he was like a 14-year-old kid, whereas like Burries was just always a big kid. And I'm like, why are you repeating a year of school when you have a physical advantage?
Yeah,
already. That's what I didn't understand. But I mean, who might have argued somebody was going to be a lottery pick? He grew on me, and like I said, I think he's another high floor guy. He's just trying to determine what his ceiling is, at least in my opinion.
Right.
That's for sure. Well, when Kyrie's moved off to Minnesota, we'll see what happens. So.
Hey man, I don't know. It would make sense to do it, but. Man, that dude is good. You want to keep good players.
I was hoping that they would things would have ended up differently for the Mavs, and they would have been Team Duke. That's just me.
They might still be. We'll see.
They might still be. They might still be.
They do have a lot of Duke guys.
They do. They do. Including Kyrie.
About Lively, yeah.
It's like a ton of the band.
Hey, coach. RJ works out with Cooper.
Nah, man, we don't want. Listen, we got one Toronto guy. No disrespect.
James, I'm so glad you said it, James. He's been trying to sell me this for about a year now. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, man. He tried to sell me. He tried to sell me Pirtle in this case for us, man. I'm like, you Pirtle who? I'm like, you must be bad. It's like,
hey, man, look, man. We already the city of Dallas.
Hey, man, the analytics. Okay.
Up. Huh?
No, I said the analytics with Pirtle. According to that man, he's a top 10 center. According to
that, say you know who the executive is there now.
No. Let me tell you something. He's already messed up when, no disrespect to the young lady, but when they passed on Olivia Miles,
Oh, that's a humming story right now, man. Woo-wee.
and we already messed up, man. We can't afford to do it again. We
She
can't
played
take
all
things
right, though,
back.
man. She played all right, though, man.
I
The Bigs played
mean,
okay, man.
listen,
You got a Rike problem. That's what you got right now.
they they re-signed Enrique. Elena Smith is just,
Well, that is
God
the
bless
biggest.
her,
Yeah, we got
stealing
milk
money.
carton. We got to put her on FBI profile, man. You
But
can't find her anywhere.
but they passed up on a generational point guard.
Yeah, she is a beast, man. She's must see TV, boy. If I see the links on it, I'm like, all right, I'm there. She's something
They
else.
could have had the best backcourt since Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper. And
Yeah,
we know how good those Houston teams were.
exactly. I'll say this though, the Miles argument actually is from this perspective. I can see why the Miles argument works because I think she would get Paige out of her comfort zone because Paige is like so she scores so easily. It's almost a flaw because sometimes she just needs to jack up some shots, man.
She
Sometimes,
doesn't press.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
You're right. It's like, you're good for 25, 5, and 5. I get it. But some nights you gotta put
Yeah.
up 32.
Yeah. And the way she's only gonna get 32 if she's extremely hot. It's not gonna be like she needs to have some of that Enrique in her where it's like
Right. They need one of
please
them
shoot more. Yeah. But I just feel like Miles and Paige
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and there's plenty of bigs.
Yeah.
They would be the second best team in the W.
Yeah. It's yeah, I've heard that discussion last couple of days. It's really starting to heat up now. But boy, I need
I feel for Foot. There's nothing she can do. She's just not going to be as good as Olivia Miles.
well, it's early still, and Fud's had some big games already, so it's early
I
still.
mean, was her ceiling Kayla McBride?
Well, that's still not that going back to your Bane point. That's not too bad in this case. But
It's not, but at number one, if your ceiling is, I'm sorry on the WNBA rant, but if your ceiling is
No.
17,
It's basketball rewind, man.
17 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists,
Mhm.
and like the WNBA, the shooting guard position is the least valuable position in the league because it's a below the rim league. Like there isn't an Anthony Edwards equivalent that's going to put pressure on the rim.
You really hurt me because I do like McBride, man. That's
I do like McBride. I just not taking her number one is what I'm saying.
No, it's true. I can't argue that. That's true though. Yeah, but I would give Easy a little more time, man. I think I might have to move Enrique. That's really I think it's
It doesn't help when the girl that was drafted behind her is
Yeah.
doing the electric slide every night after she has 25, 5, and 5.
I love too with her too, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just the aesthetic. I just love a goggles player, man.
Love
If you just don't, we don't get goggles no more, man. It's just old school.
Yeah. And like they're not going when Fee comes back, they're not going to lose to anybody.
Yeah, they're gonna be a problem, man. They're gonna be a problem. But can they get over the Black Knights though, boy? Because they can't get past them.
I think they can. I think I mean, here's my thing. Like was that them they played last year? Was that Jewel Lloyd? She just was bad all year and then turned
She
back
just
into
grew
her
up for
old
the
self.
playoffs. It's like,
what
there's
they
a Seattle Jewel Lloyd. There she is.
Yeah. I mean, the Aces are gonna be tough, but I just feel like um with Miles, she's so dynamic.
Yeah.
And Natasha Howard is good. You don't want to make a living attacking Asia Wilson, but if you're gonna try, you might as well do it with Olivia Miles and the Fisa at the end of that pick and roll.
Now speaking of Dallas, she does remind me of the rookie year kid when he came to the
Yes,
league. Yes,
that's rookie year kid.
yes, that rookie year kid is a Mavericks fan. Just like, oh, I don't care. We lost by 20. I'm just watching.
But they're winning games.
They're winning games.
They're number one in like everything, and their best player isn't even. Yeah,
It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna
colossal
be a
mistake.
I don't gonna go that far, man. I'm gonna speak up for Easy a little bit, man. Hang in there, man. Hang in there.
He's gonna have to average 20.
This isn't Durant Odin, man. We can be all right, okay? For Easy.
It might not be Durant Odin, but it might be Luca. Everybody else.
Luca Eaton.
Luke and Bagley.
I'm just saying, man.
I will say that draft, I did think that Luka should have went number one then and now.
Yeah.
Now it's not even a question, but back then I thought I
The
was like,
question is, who's 2? Is Trey 2? Trey, I think
Jaren Jackson was 2.
yeah, okay. So if we look at the redrafted today,
Redraft. Oh,
would Triple J still be 2 now or Trey? That's an interesting point.
good question.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everyone that killed Trey, like Trey name, but like, hey, when it's all said and done, man, you can still ball, man. It's like, people use his name almost like a slur sometimes. Like,
hey,
what?
man, he's
like,
he's Showtime. He's Showtime. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, I mentioned something the other day. Mentioned going back to W, said like, well, the lady that plays guard in this case for Indiana, I'll just say that in this case here. It's like, hey man, we thought we were getting Michael Jordan, we ended up getting Trey. I was like,
he is Trey Young.
Yeah, it's like, damn. It's like, I just said we thought we getting Steph, we getting Trey. It's like
actually, I heard someone bring up the Trey. I still think she's a little bit like Harden, only because Trey has that mid-range floater. She doesn't have.
Trey can go both ways.
She doesn't have mid-range, right?
And she can't go. She only can go one way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not trying to diss Harden. I'm just saying, like,
I say she's Trey. I say she's Trey because she's not the shooter that you think she is.
Yes. That's the point. I think the person
great passer, but the shooter, she's a shaky shooter.
Yes.
And you're not going to replicate that Stephen Curry stuff ever.
I give that 6 more weeks.
Man, she played really well tonight. I think she's a good player. It's just her fan base, man. I tweeted something the other day, man. I thought I was just talking about basketball, man. They called me
the crosshairs,
man. I'll never mention that lady. I didn't even type her name out either. I just put.
That's why I referred to her as the guard in Indiana.
Man, that's the boogeyman. I never type her name again on Twitter, man.
Yeah, well, after this is done, I have a couple stories, but yeah, no, interesting times. But I will say what I always say, which is that it doesn't matter because there is going to be a new sheriff in town. And her name is Juju Watkins, and nothing else is going to matter at the end of the day.
True.
So, but with that said, I think that is definitely a pod, folks. A little bit of everything, including draft talk and WNBA talk, which is good. It's good. And we haven't had it in a while because we do actually talk about WNBA here. Folks, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the description. Check out the chapters. And again, we're at the time of filming this and when this comes out, we're under 2 weeks to the draft. And aside from that, also, I will say, folks, World Cup. So, enjoy the World Cup to the best of your ability. Stay safe, folks, and take care. Peace.